Here are 3 tips to write deeper songs. Don't pick a subject to write about.
Whoa, wait a little bit. Don't pick a subject. Really? How'd you write a song if you don't pick a subject? This can be an emotion, but you have to have a subject. Unless you have a subject, you have no song. This is the dumbest advice we could come across. Of course, do get emotional. But if there's no subject for your song, where do the lyrics come from? So always pick a subject, even if it's an emotion.
There's a reason songwriters are at their best when they're going through a torturous heartbreak.
Being at your best during a heartbreak is an assumption that needs data to back it up. I don't have the data to back it up, so I think this tip is absolutely nonsense.
Think about the context that makes you feel those emotions. The more specific, the better.
This one's actually a good advice. Once you've got your subject, you drill down to the context, and that is associations. You associate around your topic and find context. Find associations that bring with you. Those can be things, places, actions, people, memes, jokes, characters, anything that surrounds your topic or emotion, as she says. And the more specific, the better. There's a difference between saying he smokes cigarettes and he smokes Marlboro Red. He drives a car and he drives a Prius. Very different things, more implications in specificity.
Don't just write about feeling abandoned. Write about how you feel abandoned because you finally got your driver's license and the only person who cared was your ex-boyfriend, but
yeah, that is very specific, but you don't just come up with these things. These things gonna happen to you. Or you need to have very advanced storytelling techniques in your songwriting inventory.
now he's with some hot blonde. Wait, that's good. I gotta write that one down.
That was absolutely not staged.
Number 3, don't ignore the little details.
Deepen with detail. Absolutely. That's just the same advice. That's specificity. Little tiny details. It's not just a house, but it's a, I don't know, red brick condo. Or not just a bird, but a seagull carrying a bag of chips. The more specific, the more poignant the stylistic device you're using gonna be.
If a ray of sun coming through your window made you cry for some reason, hold on to that. There's a great metaphor in there somewhere.
Basically, the only thing we can draw from there is be specific. And by the way, I'm Vadusha and I'm the greatest expert on songwriting in the entire world, and maybe even on YouTube. Jokes aside, I'm Vadusha and this is my channel where I try and make the world better with making your songs and lyrics better. And today we're looking at TikTok songwriting tips and seeing if there's anything we could really use in our songwriting.
Here's a songwriting trick if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration. Put on a playlist or an album that you've never heard before.
This one's a good one. It's not so much about lyrics, but about music writing. If you're listening to unfamiliar things outside your comfort zone, if you normally listen to metal, sick grindcore with blast beats, you might want to give J-pop or K-pop a chance. This will enrich your songwriting vocabulary. That's a good tip, but it's not immediately usable and it's not going to bring you immediate results specific to your lyrics or your songs.
Turn it off and go to your piano or guitar or whatever instrument you play and try to play the song.
Picking music by ear is one of the best things you can do for your musical hearing. It's much better than playing to tabs or something. You develop your musical ear, hearing harmonies, hearing melodies, trying to pick them up. That's a very good advice for your overall musicality, not specifically to your songwriting. I'm guessing she puts on a beat and then she sings along to it, improvising, finding hooks, finding melodies, probably forming lyrics based off the vowels she's using when singing. That's some things you can do to spice things up, to change things up, but it's not the primary method I recommend you use because it's very much based on inspiration. And as for me, I never write music before I have lyrics ready because my music is very much lyrics centric. First I have my lyrics finalized, then I proceed with writing what she calls a beat or whatever underlying music is gonna be. But that's one technique you can use to bring variety to your toolbox. If you're stuck, you can switch up to that.
Top 5 songwriting tips.
Holy moly, top 5 tips!
Listen to music like a songwriter.
I think we've already discussed that. You listen to specific details, listen to lyrics, trying to find stylistic devices, you listen to the music, try to break down the harmony, split melodies, if there's backing vocals, if there's hooks, if there's verses, choruses, you break it down to understand how the song works and why it works. That's a good exercise. It's not going to specifically help your songwriting immediately, but it'll help your overall musicality as always. So yeah, that's a valid advice. It's more of a development and training and musical ear improvement kind of advice, but still it works.
Finishing a song is more important than making it perfect.
This one is gold. Finishing a song is more important than making it perfect. This is golden. I know so many people who have a lot of drafts of their songs and they're waiting till they're perfect. They're not going to release those ever because they're never going to be perfect. So making something is much better than making something Perfect. Release at least something. When you release a song, there's a chance you won't succeed, but there's a chance you will. If you release nothing, there's 100% chance you'll never succeed because there's nothing you can succeed with. Releasing at least something, even if it's not perfect, is a way to at least open the door of chances there. That's starting the game. But if you're not releasing, you're not playing the game at all. Absolutely agree. This one's 100% true.
Show up for your creativity.
This one's also very, very good. Show up for your creativity. And though I'm always stating that inspiration, creativity is not important for writing song, well, it is, but I mean, it's not primary for writing song lyrics. You have to show up. You have to dedicate time. This is a job. Of course, best ideas always come when you're in the bathroom or taking a shower or something. But that is because you did the pre-work. You've worked on associations. You've formed the synapses in your brain and neurons started exchanging electricity. That's when your brain starts working on the song. And that's when ideas come. When you prep your brain for ideas. But for that, you need to have a streamlined routine, building associations, choosing the best associations, rhyming backwards and things like that. But you need to dedicate time for that. This can't happen instantaneously. You need to sit down, write something. Dedicate time. Yeah, show up for your creativity.
Inspiration isn't going to randomly hit you like a lightning bolt.
Well, it is. Nice effects, by the way. It is going to hit you like a lightning bolt, but you're not going to be waiting for a lightning bolt to hit you. If you're fine with waiting forever, that's okay. But if you need to write song, especially if you get paid for writing song lyrics, you can't afford waiting for lightning bolts to strike, and that's why you got to show up for your creativity.
Write songs for yourself. Write because you love it.
This one's good. I do share this idea, because when you write for somebody, there's a high chance they're not gonna like it. When you write for yourself, there's still a high chance they're not gonna like it. But you're gonna like it, and that's the difference. Writing for somebody else, writing for people to like what you do, is a sure way into depression. Writing for yourself is probably healthier. That's the only thing that matters here, as I see it. But if you're fine with people not liking what you write for them, I guess you could write for anybody. But this actually makes a lot of sense. So far, this dude is very much on point.
Number 5, read poetry.
Okay, read poetry is nice advice. I think listening to things also works. So if you listen to people whose lyrics you like, probably works as well. But reading poetry is concentrated lyrics, because songs have bridges and intros and outros and solos. Poetry is lyrics jammed on one page. So probably reading poetry is also a thing, and I would recommend studying poetry, not only reading it, but actually deciphering the devices that make things poetic, like rhymes, parallel constructions, metaphors, oxymorons, anything that helps you write. It's very much the same as learning musical theory. Some people say it hinders your creativity, but in fact, it helps you solve problems in the moment. When you hit a roadblock and there's a problem you need to solve, like when you write a line and it's out of context, it's not syllabically consistent, you have a bunch of devices you can use to overcome this. And when you're writing it from inspiration, you may be stuck forever. But if you have your devices ready, if you know your stylistics and poetic theory, you can apply your toolbox to overcome the problem, to solve it. You can use synonyms, you can use associations and metaphors to work around the line to make it more syllabically consistent. So yeah, read poetry is a very first step on this path.
A big songwriting tip I like to say to people is that it doesn't have to be true. You can
This one's very good. It goes well, I guess, with stand-up comedy, with script writing, with sitcoms and movies. You don't have to write a true story. Though a true story will probably resonate with you better, but you can invent something. You don't have to be completely honest in your material. Yeah, that's kind of obvious, but I've never thought of it this way. This is a good advice. Yeah, make it up. Why not? If you're a singer-songwriter, you don't have to go through 800 breakups to write breakup songs. Taylor Swift has way more breakup songs than the number of breakups she's been through. Am I right?
Songwriting is actually not that hard, and you can do it too.
It's not that hard. You can do it too. Ready?
I'm going to give you a few tips on how to get started songwriting.
Tip number 1, don't make your background music louder than your voice. I mean, I can't hear you.
Writing lyrics sounds like a really, really scary topic, but it's actually not at all.
She's reiterating the thought, and I've wasted a couple of seconds. That's too much of my time for a TikTok. I want the TikTok to be straight to the point, delivering the tip, not prepping me for the tip.
Pen and paper and start writing down anything that comes to mind.
This is a stream of consciousness technique. You just pour whatever there is. You start writing and you don't stop. You set a timer for like 10 or 20 minutes and you write and write and write, never stopping. Whatever comes to your mind, even if it's dumb, even if it's stupid. stupid, even if it makes no sense, you keep on writing. Something will jump out that'll inspire you. That's a valid technique. Despite the long intro, this is a really useful technique for people who feel stuck. Stream of consciousness is in textbooks on songwriting, so good for you.
Here's 3 easy steps to writing lyrics for your first song.
If you ask me for 3 easy steps, I'd say associations, put them in strong positions, and rhyme backwards. Fill the lines. I needed the 4th step. Sorry, I can't make it in 3 steps.
Use the lyric brand formula.
What in the world is that?
This is all about finding a hook, using a song template, and then generating your lyrics from that.
Okay, so I need to find a hook from a template and generate lyrics. Pretty easy. How do I find a hook?
Best hooks are the ones that have emotion or the ones you personally have experience around in your life.
This is how you learn to play the bass. You need to get the bass. Once you've got the bass, you need to use your fingers and play the bass. 3 easy steps. Get a bass, use your fingers, play the bass. Why are you still not playing the bass? The best fingers for playing the bass are these 2. You apply these fingers to these strings and there's sound coming out and you're playing the bass suddenly. I hate tips like that. They're very vague, no specificity in them, very much not applicable. Probably what he's saying is true, but that's not something you can learn from because it's too vague.
Here's a major lyric writing tip.
A major lyric writing tip.
It's still on Ed Sheeran's Castle on the Hill, but it's super important. If your title has an image in it, and his does, Castle on the Hill,
Totally agree.
then the line to set up your title should be a thought-feeling line.
Sorry?
And that line is, I miss the way you make me feel, and it's real.
That's kinda useless. If your song topic or your hook or whatever is an image, you use the image to draw from there. Your associations are the description of the image. That's what I'd tell you. So if that's the castle on a hill, you think the hill, the castle, and you associate out from the castle like knights and kings and battles and dragons and princesses and towers and things like that. And the hill is difficult to climb, easy to slide off of, grass growing on it, I don't know. And that's something you can take and use in your own lyrics writing, not just feeling and emotion. You can associate emotions as well. You can think, castle on a hill, what emotions do I have with, or what feelings do I have? It's hard to climb. The grass smells like what? It smells fresh. It smells like morning. I don't know. The walls are impenetrable. You have to climb the walls exhausted. You associate using the initial image, trying to describe it from different perspectives. You can use your visual senses describing what you see. If it's a gray castle, a green castle, a red brick castle, I don't know. Then you use your hearing. What does the castle sound like? I don't know. There's a flag flopping, or there's a dragon flying and roaring, or there's people screaming because there's a fire in the castle. You use your smell as well. What does the castle smell like? Like wet concrete. What it makes you feel smelling wet concrete. These are the things you can actually use. You can put these on paper as opposed to just...
There's no tangible noun in that.
Yeah, there's no tangible noun in that line. And that's the problem. This implies you being a genius like Ed Sheeran. You don't have to be a genius to write song lyrics. And that's the whole point. You can methodically associate around the castle on the hill and come up with your own song that's going to be different from Ed Sheeran's because you have different associations from Ed Sheeran, probably. Because you have different experience, different life story, different castles you read books or seen films about. I don't like this advice.
Here's how to write a song in 5 minutes. Go to
Song lyrics generator. I do heavily use computer technology to write song lyrics. Not lyrics generator though. I can use lyrics generator as a prompt and then heavily edit that. That's an exercise that can help. But you can use ChatGPT. You can use rhyming dictionaries or rhyming online services. You can use dictionaries of synonyms. You can use thesauruses. Thesauri? Let me know in the comments which one's right. You can use Google to Google things up, to Google your associations. You can use online mind mapping software to build mind maps of your associations. Or you can use Wikipedia to read something about the topic. It often helps, especially if you're not very familiar with that topic. If you have a customer that needs a song about Minecraft and you've never played Minecraft, you might want to research the topic first.
Let's talk about a basic songwriting method for absolute beginners.
Okay.
Step 1 is take the pressure off.
Okay, take the pressure off. That's you're depressed? Don't be sad. It'll be okay. That's one unhealthy advice. I mean, you gotta take the pressure off, but how do you take the pressure off? I mean, that's not an advice. It's not actionable.
It doesn't have to be the best song you're ever gonna write. Done is better than perfect.
But the idea behind that is very good. Your songs don't have to be perfect. You have to give yourself permission to make mistakes, to write poorly written lyrics. You pour it out, write things out, and by the time you exhaust bad ideas, good ideas will start pouring out as well.
And don't give up. Keep going.
Don't give up. Nice, very good advice, not very actionable. You have a panic attack. Relax.
Next step is to just write out a simple structure.
Yeah, you might want to learn what a song is, like a verse, a chorus, what a bridge is, what an interlude is, what an intro and outro is. These are the things you probably want to know about.
I would consider the most basic song structure verse, chorus, verse, chorus.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the very first thing you do. And that's actually what I normally do. That's my go-to structure. Verse, chorus, and probably a couple of more choruses to end it up with.
The last step is just finish the song.
Write lyrics, edit later. That is a very, very good tip. It gives you freedom to write anything. It gives you freedom to have syllabically inconsistent lines because you always know you will return to the song and edit it to a point when it's consistent. That's a very good advice. Totally recommend. That's one of the things beginners do, not editing their lyrics. My approach there is to wait a considerable amount of time till returning and editing the song because once you've written the song, it's yours. It's your baby. You feel attached to it. You feel emotionally involved. You need to take a step back and look at it from above, take a bird's eye view and edit things without being emotionally attached because it's very difficult to edit what you feel very, very connected to. Once time passes, you disconnect from the piece. You see the lyrics as somebody else's lyrics and somebody else's lyrics are very easy to edit. That's a very good tip. Write lyrics, edit later. Right, we got a bunch of tips. Some of them work, some of them don't. I hope it helped you in some way. Thank you for watching the video till the very end and not skipping a bit of it because it lets YouTube know the video is interesting and it promotes the video across YouTube. And that's something I really, really need. Please like the video if you liked the video. Please subscribe if you have a heart. And I wish you all write lyrics over and over again and come up with as many songs as you want because you're awesome. You love me and I love you. Not everything they say on TikTok is true.